Thank you very much for this very warm welcome, Tris, and also for the excellent work that you and Elisa are doing today in moderating this very first European Social Economy Summit. I don't think I am the person that works the most in Europe and in the European social economy, not at all, but it is an absolute chance to work with people like you, Tris, like Elisa, and like social economy activists, social economy entrepreneurs from all over Europe. And that's why I am calling the panel, which I am co-hosting, alongside with my colleague and Vice President of Social Economy Europe, Patricia Bussi. Hello, Patrizia.
I'm Patricia Bussi, Vice President of Social Economy Europe and Director of the European Network for Work Integration Social Enterprise. And I'm speaking from Pedreño in the north of Ireland. Today, we have a very high-level session with member of the European Parliament and social economy stakeholders from across Europe. We will have with us Patrizia Toia, member of the European Parliament from the Italian Social Democrat delegation. We will have Mr. Sven Giegold, member of the European Parliament from the German Greens. We will have a video recorded for us from Mrs. Manon Aubry, co-chair of the Left Group in the European Parliament. And then we will have Mr. Juan Antonio Pedreño, my dear colleague, President of Social Economy Europe, the voice of Social Economy Enterprise in the European Union, and also the organization providing technical support to the European Parliament Social Economy Intergroup. Unfortunately, our colleague of the European People's Party and the Renew Europe have not been able to join us today due to other engagement, but we also thank you them for their engagement. And now I'm also happy to give you some technical information. We will have a simultaneous interpretation for the session of Mrs. Toia, who will speak in Italian, and Mr. Pedreño, who will speak in Spanish. So now I pass again the floor to Victor. Please, Victor.
What I wanted to do is to introduce the European Parliament Social Economy Intergroup. So the Social Economy Intergroup has been active since 1990 for a long time, and it has been fundamental in mainstreaming social economy in EU policies across all these years. The Social Economy Intergroup today is formed by 80 MEPs from the main political groups. It is a cross-partisan group of MEPs from the main European forces that cooperate together in boosting social economy. They have done it through public policies, very important public policies like the Statute for European Cooperatives, the Social Business Initiative, or, for instance, the Public Procurement Directive. So a very important group. And with that, I will give the floor back to Patrizia to introduce our next speaker.
Okay, thank you. Grazie per questo invito.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I repeat, thanks very much for inviting me. I'm very sorry that I just only joined now, but in the Commission we're involved in important things, and I'm rapporteur, and this is why I can only attend part of the time. My apologies for that. First of all, a big thank you to all of those who've been introduced and who are involved, because I think that this utopian topic, the role of social economy that was considered something utopian in the past, is now finally turning into reality. Because some time ago it was a completely different situation, and thanks to the work of commissioners and members of parliament and all stakeholders, we've been able to make progress. For some years we neglected this at commission and parliament level. But now there's been another initiative, and also thanks to our intergroup and thanks to all the stakeholders, everything is being advanced. It's about resilience. It's about the social and economic sector, which is a resilient sector as such. We can create employment. It might also be what is closest to the local level. This is connected with the traditional role of the individual protagonists, because they can really support when it's a matter of bringing our social and economic system back to life. So this is what social economy is all about. And we have to be role models. We have to be pioneers. We have to shape a society that is more resilient, that is more sustainable. And this is the role of social economy. And this is why it has to be attributed so much significance. At national level, there have been some plans to give more room to social economy. In other countries, social economy has been treated in a stepmotherly way. We have to implement the action plan. We have to ensure this. We have to be very open, we at Commission level, and we have to do justice to the new situation. A lot of parliamentarian commissions are involved here, and we have to include those who produce, that give something back to society. Think of cooperatives, for instance, and also social enterprises. These actors have to be integrated into the welfare state and into economy. We have to have this safety. I think we're on the right track. We have taken the right approach, and it's now the right point in time. And it's now a matter of unveiling everything. There have been devastating effects in the past during the crisis. Solidarity has become more solid now, but there's been a lot of unemployment, of course, and now we have to ensure recovery. There are European funds that are made available just for this purpose. And if we don't focus on social economy now, we would have missed this unique opportunity, this unique chance. So we have to be very engaged, very committed, and make sure that our proposal to give revival to all of this is being heard in parallel with the welfare state and economic policy that also impacts social security and the entire healthcare system. And there is no separate economy or separate security or separate health. Everything is interconnected. You have to be healthy to be able to produce, for instance. If you just produce without having social welfare, there's no resilience, and then the society cannot be united. So we need this integration within society. And the entire social economy plays a crucial role in this sector, also in new areas, not just in the welfare state, where traditionally these results have an impact, but also in the service sector, for instance, in the ecological sector, in energy, but also in digitalization. Because it's a matter of digitalizing the world of work, the transport system, the health system. Everything will be digitalized, also public administration. And I think digital as such is a great opportunity for us. We have to implement digital plans, and these plans also has to find and social economy also has to find its place here. That's a transition period. We have to form competences, and if possible, we have to implement this digital governance act so that citizens will be happy to make their personal data available. And the same applies to these autonomous entities that are indispensable for social economy so that further jobs can be created. And this can only work if we all join forces and work hand in hand, not only in the intergroup, but everywhere. I asked my group to enhance this discussion, not only on employment or social aspects or individual aspects, but we want to take a holistic approach. The entire European Parliament has to look into these issues. You can do this in the plenary together with colleagues, because we have to pay tribute to social economy and give it a strong voice. And this is what we want to enhance. This is what we want to drive. And we've prepared everything. And we certainly do hope that it will be a success story at the end of the day. No personal success, but a success for the actors in the so-called third sector, as we call it in Italy. So basically, this is what it's about in social economy. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Toia, for these fantastic remarks, talking about the presence of social economy in all the economic sectors, and also about the need to cooperate and serve the collective interest. And from you, Mrs. Toia, and you have been a long-standing advocate for social economy, working on different reports on social economy. We are passing the floor to Sven Giegold, who is also a long-standing advocate for social economy, a member of the Econ Committee. And I have a question for you, Sven. As I was saying, you have been very active in supporting and advocating for the development of social economy since your first election as MEP in 2004. You often said in 2011 that the social business initiative led by Michel Barnier was a game changer. In terms of promoting social economy at your level, what was already achieved by the SBI and what remains to be done now with the Social Economy Action Plan? That's our question to you, Sven.
Yeah, thank you, Victor. I hope you can hear me well and give me some signal, but okay. First, my commitment to social economy comes from my professional life, where I was helping to set up several cooperatives in my home region in Germany. And I would like to say that on the European level, of course, we have a very diverse landscape. And in the end, it's the regions and the member states which have most responsibility. And this in order to promote the social and solidarity economy. And this will remain to be so. Beyond that, Europe has, of course, important supporting functions. And when Michel Barnier, during the financial crisis, became a market commissioner, he supported the sector by opening up a number of European initiatives, which was not happening for many years before. So also in the European Parliament, there is a long tradition across parties to support the enterprises coming from the social and solidarity economy. And this means, for instance, that now a lot of funding opportunities, which were originally targeted at companies, are also, of course, open to enterprises from the social and solidarity economy. So most recently, for instance, the recovery funds around the corona crisis, which are at the moment being implemented in the regions and the member states, but also the European Social Fund, the European Regional Development Fund, and so on. So we see now that more and more the social and solidarity economy is mainstreamed. However, one has also to say that we have achieved certain improvements. So, for instance, European procurement law, which is very important, so that social and solidarity economy enterprises have an advantage when competing for public procurement contracts, that they can have an advantage because they also provide an environmental, social, or democratic benefit beyond of the good and service they provide. So European law has made that now possible to have also social and environmental qualities inside of the contract offers for public procurement. However, there are still limitations. And this is a very important issue, so that we make it easier for enterprises of the social and solidarity economy to win contracts in public procurement. And beyond that, it is also needed that we, across the EU legislation, we check whether everything is ready for at least equal treatment of enterprises of the social and solidarity economy. Still too often, the model of the enterprise is a profit-seeking, purely private enterprise, And often enterprises of the social and solidarity economy use other legal forms, such as associations, and are still economically active enterprises. Then, if enterprises want to go cross-border, they often have difficulties in the social and solidarity economy to find the appropriate legal form. We have a European enterprise, and we have a European cooperative, but we don't have a European association. We have no European foundation, no European mutual, and even less, we have a European charitable status. So I think also this has to be opened up. Two last points to say is that we also wanted already under the social business initiative of Michel Barnier create a European digital platform for the visibility of the social and solidarity economy, but also in order to link them with the European opportunities, funding, but also in other areas. This has not been realized. It's an old idea. I hope the Commission will realize it now. But of equal importance is that now, the Commission, when they draft their action plan, and I'm delighted that Nicolas Schmidt has taken up that idea, that when they draft that action plan, it is also containing true commitments in terms of legislative changes and budgetary consequences. Equally, consequences in the Commission to have one hub of people who are responsible for supporting the social and solidarity economy, rather than having a very scattered landscape who is responsible for that economic sector. So no other economic sector would be treated with so little staff by the European Commission of equal importance like the social and solidarity economy. So we talk about 8% of all jobs, so it should also get the recognition it deserves by the Commission. And lastly, it will remain the member states to be key. And therefore, it's so important that the Luxembourg Declaration, which unites the member states which have a commitment for the social and solidarity economy, that these member states are really working more effectively, but also that more member states join them. They have made commitments, while the last Commission under Mr. Juncker didn't show very much interest in the social and solidarity economy. Therefore, the member states took the initiative. This is very good. But as we are speaking in digital Germany of Mannheim, I would like to say, as a German, I'm highly disappointed that the German government has not supported this declaration. And I also think that the German government should take the good examples from Spain, France, Italy, Portugal, and create its own hub to support social innovation and the social and solidarity economy. Such a supporting structure in the government is what, in the end, all member states should develop, starting here at home for me in Germany. And in autumn, things may change. Thank you.
Really, thank you so much, Sven, for this presentation and for reminding what we have achieved and what remains to be done in order to promote social economy, and also reminding that member states have a great responsibility, and that indeed in December 20 European member states signed the declaration, and hope, Sven, that Germany will join them very soon. And from Sven Giegold, we will pass the floor to Manon Aubry. She's the co-chair of the Group of the European United Left in the European Parliament. She's not with us today because she had other engagements, but she has shared with us a very short 3-minute video.
Le plan pour l'économie sociale européenne doit être l'opportunité de modifier notre cadre économique, mais aussi de tirer les leçons de la...
Yes, of course, we do have to change our economic framework, and we have to learn our lessons after the crisis. We have seen that this was really selling out a multinational profit-driven enterprise. We do know that there is a counter model, and this is social economy. Collective utility model, other forms of work organization, and other objectives as well. The European Union must choose its direction. In this context, the social economy is actually a huge opportunity, but for that we need a more favorable ecosystem for the social society. For example, take the issue of public procurement. European competition law needs to be changed to favor the social economy in public procurement. This raises the broader question of access to funding and financing for the social economy throughout the EU. It also raises the question of harmonizing the different national laws, which vary considerably from one country to another of the 27 member states. And also the question of access to investments from the European Recovery Plan, but also from the Green Deal, and how to ensure that the social economy is a key player and can access this European funding. We cannot aim to promote the social and solidarity economy and continue to develop a free trade model. That favors goods produced in other parts of the world under very different social and ecological conditions. It also raises the question of the taxonomy of green and social investments, what is included and what is not, such as the debate on the inclusion. We will succeed in changing our economic model to make a new model of society out of the crisis? Question mark. Or will the European Union continue with its habit that tend to favor large multinational companies? That often have no regard for the social and ecological conditions of production. This is the question that is now being asked, and which this European Action Plan for the Social, in any case, we will fight on the side. EP to give the social economy the place it deserves in the whole of the European Union.
Well, that was the video message from Manon.
Thank you.
This
Manon?
is precisely the added value of the Social Economy Intergroup, having MEPs from various political groups. So Sven, Giegold, and we have a public of more than 900 people. And now I will give the floor to one of my bosses, to Patricia Bussi, Vice President of Social Economy Europe, that will give the floor and ask a question to my big boss to say, which is Juan Antonio Pedreño, President of Social Economy Europe. Patricia, over to you to ask this question.
Okay, so thank you very much, Victor, again. I'm also very pleased to have heard these three members of the European Parliament that are really very ally of the social and solidarity economy. And now, yes, it's the time of the stakeholder. It's the time of Juan Antonio Pedreño, our president, that have spent many energy in the last year for boosting social economy. And Juan Antonio, what do you think that should be the role of Social Economy Intergroup and social economy stakeholder in the design and implementation of the Social Economy Action Plan? Please, Juan Antonio.
Buenas tardes, Patricia. En primer lugar.
Good afternoon, Patricia. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference and congratulate them. I'd like to greet all participants, all those who attend this summit. I feel very close to all of you, and I also agree with all the statements made by the previous speakers, Patricia and the others, who are all very engaged for the social economy in Europe. Let me answer your question as follows. Just a few thoughts from me. And I'd like to briefly point out how important the intergroup activities are. And I'd like to briefly talk about the most important stakeholders. Recognition, appreciation. We heard about that this morning, and Victor also put it this way. There are some approaches, and it's an idea of appreciation of all of those who are engaged in and committed to this type of economy. I've been involved in this process for many, many years now, and for many years I've been making proposals to support the social economy, and we do in fact need an action plan. This has been an issue for us for some years now, and the action plan for the social economy has to be adopted in November this year. And Patricia and Toia said that we do need a change, we need a structural change for the social economy, and we are now on the finishing line, I would say. This is, of course, only a first proposal for policy. We got started in 2008. We all remember that we presented this, all of us together, in our intergroup. Christine Quistaba was involved, and our dear friend who unfortunately passed away, Dirk Nilsson, and several presidents and commissioners were always committed to this in the past. We have to renew this. The proposal has to be taken up again. New suggestions have to be made. We want to make further headway. We want to involve all those who work in the area of the social economy. We are now on the road to this action plan, and we also have to thank the Council, the European Council, and more than 20 countries signed the Toledo Declaration last December. That was a first chapter and showed that our work is appreciated. And a second message: we have to make everything more visible. Our messages have to become more visible, because in the final analysis, we are faced with a huge challenge, but also this is a great opportunity, because we can chain all of these things, raise awareness for the role that has to be played by these 2.8 million enterprises in the social economy. It's a great opportunity to make progress. Also, when it comes to sustainable development, we can create high quality jobs. We can also make headway with a view to inclusion. And this, in fact, has to be in conjunction with all of these new initiatives on social rights. We want to do away with inequality. We want to reduce poverty and unemployment, and have more equality. And this is a great opportunity, and we have to seize this opportunity. We can all make a contribution. Digitalization is also an important issue here. This way, we also want to do away with inequality and offer better opportunities to all enterprises, which means that we also can achieve more social cohesion as a result of all of these initiatives. And social economy has turned into a basic pillar for the future of Europe. I'm repeating things that have just been said when there was talk about the role and the recognition. We do appreciate the work of the Commission, because 8% of employment is happening in this field. A Spanish minister some days ago said in Portugal that we have to become more visible, because all of this must not be forgotten. We certainly do need social enterprises to make changes. These are just some thoughts from me. And I think it was very important what was said this morning. We need a new social plan, a new action plan for the social economy, which is a fundamental idea, a very important topic. And this action plan is mandatory. We want to create policies that do not only contain empty phrases. We want policies, new policies for the social economy. We also need a new social entrepreneurship. We have to become more resilient. but that has been said several times before, and we have to we need a kind of revolution. The revolution has already started, and it has to be anchored in the history of Europe. And this is the social action plan we propose. So social economy has to be better anchored in the European economy. We definitely need agreements, contracts, strengthening the social economy, because at the end of the day, we are only at the beginning in many areas. Very often, enterprises from this sector are excluded and not enough is invested in these companies, and therefore we need better access here. And we also need more involvement, because we're also important employers when you come to think of it. But at the end of the day, we need an ecosystem for the social economy so that it can develop better. And we have to ensure that the entire potential of the social economy can be raised, because the moderator already said that in some countries we have more than 10% of employment and more than 10% of the gross domestic product. In other countries, it's only 0.6%. So there are huge differences here. And that means a huge growth potential for the social economy. We have to join forces. We have to put in more and ensure that local governments are also committed. Also, the Commission has to be more committed, and other European institutions. I personally feel that we can all work together, collaborate, so that we can then build a better world, all of us together. And a very last thought. Of course, we need funds, we need finance, that was mentioned already, to reach these goals and to keep all these promises so that all of this can become reality. So we do need an action plan with a good budget. We've said that again and again. FSC Plus, for instance, is important. Also, the European Recovery Plan is very important. These are all programs allowing us to strengthen innovative projects so that there are more investments, because we're a driving force in this society. Spain is really committed to the social economy. We have close relations with the Prime Minister, who some days ago made this commitment once again to support the social economy. So we want to be a reference here, and we build on the support and help of the Spanish government. We presented a great project for more resilience in the country, in the country, which is to contribute to better development, more employment. So that's a great growth potential. We are faced with many challenges, but also great opportunities. It's an indispensable type of economy, and it will also allow us to build a new ecosystem. Also in Spain, for instance. I'd like to call upon Spain to embark on this road in the future too. We have to be able to rely on this. And the past we've seen with the Toledo Declaration that this is possible and that progress is being made. 19 countries signed the declaration. And some final conclusions right at the end. We want a pluralist society, and it can only function if we have a strong social economy that integrates. That is very important indeed. And Antonio Costas from Spain has said it again and again. He said that we need a new social pact in Europe that is progressive, and it certainly has to be based on strengthening the third pillar of prosperity, and this is why social economy is just so important. A great opportunity in order to make a quantum leap, to really collaborate, to make this dream that we've had for many years come true. And it's just a few minutes ago that we heard that the time has now come to strengthen the social economy for a better future throughout Europe, a fairer future, a greener future, and a future with more prosperity, and especially a future with more democracy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juan Antonio. We really feel that these words are from an entrepreneur. We remember that you have founded many training cooperative, and we heard these in your words. What is important now, and I will say just some few conclusions, is really to have a social economy action plan that is a new policy for social economy. So more than a declaration, but a document that represents consistent effort to promote social economy entrepreneurship across Europe and also in the country friend of Europe and in the world. And we have heard by the three members of the European Parliament and by Juan Antonio many ideas, many proposals that I fully share as a public procurement directive, European statutes, platform for increasing the visibility, but also for receiving funding. So we have there really the possibility to have all these proposal included, and this proposal will help our sector to grow. And another call is also for us, for the stakeholder, as was already said by Juan Antonio, we really need now to work hard until November to have a unique voice and to be heard by the Commission. And then to start working also with our member state for the implementation of this action plan that we really would like will be monitored also and will be perhaps repeated after 5 years. This will depend. So thank you very much. And now I let the floor for the last word of this session to my colleague Victor. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Patrizia. I think that our host, Chris Gordon, has a quick question.
I do indeed, Victor. Delighted that you were able to bring the MEPs to us today, and also with the incredible group of the Social Economy Europe. Victor, you are the man for connecting people on these topics and more, and with you and Patrizia at the helm, with all of the MEPs and those that are involved, I know that there's a huge amount of effort that's gone into this. What are the things that can be done? Maybe just 20 seconds or so. What are the tangible things that can be done towards social media, websites? Where can people find out more about your work and the work of all of the people that you were able to bring on conversation today?
Very briefly, connect with your MEPs. Connect with the MEPs that were here today, with Sven, Giegold, with Patrizia, Toia, with Manon, Aubry, and with the other members of the intergroup. Social economy stakeholders and the Social Economy Intergroup need to be at the core, at the center of the implementation of this action plan. So the Commission needs to cooperate more with the Social Economy Intergroup. Visit our webpage, subscribe to our newsletter, and interact with us in the social media. We are at your disposal to make your voice heard at European level, and also if needed to help you connect with MEPs and with the European Commission.
Brilliant stuff. And anyone else, you can check out the live chat. I know that.